Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Charlie, who is the founder of True Balance, which is one of the fintech startups in India, Korea, and globally. Hi, Charlie. Welcome to ELI.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here today.
We would request you to introduce yourself to our audience. Tell us a bit about where are you from and your background.
Yeah. Actually, first of all, my name is Charlie Lee. I'm the CEO and then the co-founder of the Balance Hero, which runs the application called True Balance. True Balance is the financial application to provide payment and loan kind of all finance services to the next billion in Indian people in India. So first, I think I better explain how this Korean guy. I'm a Korean actually, by the way, but many curious how this the Korean guy end up doing business in India. So
Yeah.
let me briefly introduce myself. Actually, my journey in India started from 2002. I believe that you heard about the service called Hello Tunes. That's the Airtel service.
Right.
That's kind of a very popular value-added services in India. When you make a call, you listen to music instead of a ringing sound.
Mm.
That's the actually service I provide to Airtel like 20 years ago. So
Wow.
at the time, I was the head of Asian business in the Real Networks company. That's an American company which provides various value services to global, telecom companies. So I was the head of Asia business at the time, and then I came to India 2002, and then we joined the presentation and then all the competition, and then we got the deal for the Airtel. After that, actually, we luckily we have a chance to provide to other telecoms like Idea and ESNL as will go on now. But so that's how actually my India journey began. And
Mm.
after that, actually, I founded my first venture called Access Mobile. And that's a similar company to the Real Networks. We provided various value-added services to telecom companies in 2006. And then after that, actually, I made a quite actually good business from there. But as you all know, from 2000 like 12, 11, like iPhone and then Android phones that came out, and then this ecosystem of phones, telecom business has totally changed it. So
Yep.
the smartphone basically changed all the aspects of the people's life and then the ecosystem. So in 2014, I made a decision to start a new venture called Balance Hero, which
Mm.
runs the True Balance application for now in 2014. So that's how actually my actually journey began. And then I see the India when I started Balance Hero, we actually made some like research, and then it took almost 6 months to start this kind of financial services in India. But
Mm.
it took just 5 minutes to choose a country. At the time, actually, I was the head of Asia business. So I was very familiar with all the Asian countries like Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, Australia, Philippines, Singapore.
Mm.
But I chose India. It took just 5 minutes because I saw, when I start a new business, for me actually I had a very simple three criteria. First
Mhm.
one is the size of the market. Second one is the speed of the growth.
Mhm.
Third one is the maturity of the market. So
Okay.
from these three aspects, there was no actually reason that going to India was the only the option and the one of the best actually option. So it
Mm.
took just 5 minutes, and then I started my business in India. That's how actually my India journey began.
Got you. So, help us understand the meaning behind the name True Balance and Balance Hero. What is this naming about?
Actually, the balance, initially we started our service from balance checking for prepaid users. In the
Mhm.
Android application, we provide Android app. So Android application, we found out that I don't know if you guys are familiar with USSD. That's the kind of a message service over the call, star 123 sharp. and then make a call, then you get the message. At the time, it was very, very popular. It was free service. So
Mm.
all these telecom users, when they want to check their balance, they use this USSD service. And then
Mm.
we found out that technically it's possible to check their balance over the Android application using this USSD technology. So we started our service from balance checking and then payment, because recharge is a natural kind of a next step after balance checking. So we
Mm.
provided balance checking and then payment and then other financial services. So we actually chose this balance when we started our business to check the prepaid mobile balance. But as
Mm.
you know, balance means also like your bank statement balance, like your kind of a money balance kind of thing. So we actually wanted to provide the balance service, financial service for Indian people. So that's why actually we name it True Balance.
Mm. From mobile balance check to a fintech startup, I think that's a quite a journey. So tell us, how did you move into fintech, and what was the thesis behind fintech is something you want to do, and what are the different products and services that you are providing right now?
Yeah, actually, that's a very good question. When we started our service initially, actually we dreamed about now, like around 9 years ago. Even when we started our service, we kind of visioned to provide various financial services to next billion Indian people, like we call them next billion or Indian middle class.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you check most of the prepaid users, they are next billion. Like they have phone, but they cannot enjoy financial service or the service. So
Mm.
most of the prepaid users who needs balance checking and mobile balance recharge, they are out of a current financial ecosystem, so they need financial service. But why did we choose this balance checking as a beginning point? Because, as I briefly explained, after balance checking, that's a kind of a demand for every prepaid users.
Mm.
But after the checking, they are naturally actually desire to recharge. And then when we find out, like when your balance due is coming, when your balance is very low, we send a alarm message, and then they actually can easily recharge from our app. But
Mm.
this recharge, especially for prepaid users, is a really, really huge service. If you think about like Paytm and PhonePe and all those services, actually they started from balance recharge service. Because
Mm.
in balance recharge, 1 billion people is prepaid users in India. They recharge 3 to 4 times a month. So
Correct.
1 billion people, 3 to 4 billion transaction per month. It's a huge users and huge transaction. I believe it's one of the most biggest single transaction services in the world. That's
Mm.
why actually we chose balance recharge as a gateway for the other payment services like bill payment and others. And then payment is the kind of gateway for other finance services, especially for loan. That's why actually we chose balance checking for prepaid users and recharge, payment, and others. So like, around like 4 years ago, we started our loan service. Around 6 years ago, we started our payment service. So
Mm.
that's how actually our service evolved.
Got you. So I understand that Balance Hero aims to serve the unbanked users of India, and I think that's a challenge because they do not have bank accounts. So how do you go about it? How do you bring those people into? How do you get them into your ecosystem? How do you collect payments from them? Tell us about it.
Yeah, actually, unbanked is not actually right term. We call them underbanked or underserved. Underbanked means actually, even though like in India, like, more than 1 billion people actually have bank account.
Mm.
But if you see deep dive, many of actually Indian people, they don't frequently use finance service and then bank account, even though they have the bank account, and then they don't have credit score. Like
Mm.
only like around 300 million people have credit score from CIBIL and Experian and others. So what I figured is that if you can solve the problem of them, especially the financial issues, the loan, actually, the credit issues, then we believe that we can solve a big problem and that we can provide finance for those people. So we are targeting, we call next billion or Indian middle class. Like our target users, income level is around like 15,000 per month to 50,000 per month. So those users are the major population, and then they are like almost a billion. That's why we call them next billion and the Indian middle class. But unfortunately, they cannot get the loan in the financial service easily from others like banks and then big MBS companies. So what we try to solve is that thanks for smartphone, Android phone, actually, smartphone made a big actually change, because thanks for smartphone, we can, of course, we can provide application service like real time connection, internet connection, but also we can collect a lot of data. This smartphone is basically, once you know the smartphone, basically you can understand what kind of person you are, what kind of financial and the social activities they're doing. So based on data we collect, based on the consent, of course, of our users, we can actually collect various data, and then we can analyze it, and then we can provide a credit to our users, and then we can give the financial service, especially the gist of a finance service, the loan. So that's actually how we end up doing business for loan.
When you say data, what sort of data do you analyze, or data points do you analyze? And is there a AI and ML play here to create credit profiles for the users?
Yes, definitely. That's the kind of AI-based, machine learning model is kind of the core of our service, the model. What we are doing is like, as I told you, like, maximum 300 million people only have the credit score, and maximum like 150 million kind of people, they can get the loan from banks. So all other like, more than billion people, even they don't have any credit score. And then even though they have it, it's a very low credit score. So it's very hard to underwrite them, evaluate them. So what we are doing is like, we have built up for now three AI-based underwriting models. First one is a bank score model. We have now version 6 running. Second one is an alternative credit scoring model. We have now version 5 running. The third one is a SMS score. We have now version 3 running. So these three models have various data. Now actually we are trying to integrate all these three models into one. But basically, each model use a little bit different set of data. But basically, we are using like around 10,000 data set. Out of those, I can easily explain like 5 data set, which is working most actually effectively. The first one is that your mobile application data. So what kind of applications our users are using? For example, like A user is using Facebook, WhatsApp, or some casual games. But B users, he's using Paytm or like Amazon or even some banking apps. Even though we cannot access, we cannot get, even though our users don't have any credit, actually we can get some very insightful data from this application usage. The second one is that the handset model. We can access the handset model. So what kind of handset our users are using it. So based on that, actually, we can kind of project the income level and then, those kind of things. And the third one is that location information based on the consent of our users. We are kind of figuring where they are. And then more importantly, we can kind of get to know they have a frequent and regular moving for weekdays, night and day. Then actually we can kind of assume that he has a regular job. So those kind of location information is also very important one. Fourth one is the social behavior data, we call it. That's basically how many actually people, regular people, they communicate over the call or SMS. We figured, anyone who has a regular contact, frequently actually communicating people, those people have more likely to have higher credit score. So that's also very, very important one of the data set. And then final, And then the most important one is the SMS data, financial data.
Mm,
Based on the consent of our users, we access our users' financial SMS transaction data, and
mm,
then actually we basically analyze. As you know, India is very very popular for the UPI payment, and then all kind of financial transactions are over the SMS. So
mm,
we analyze those SMS, and then we actually get the kind of credit level of our users, and then we make a final call for our users.
mm. Got you. So, in India, the fintech sector is crowded. There are so many players, and the way I see it, every player is trying to do everything, and every app is going to become a super app eventually. But every app also has a differentiating factor, a unique strengths about their app. For example, PhonePe is mostly about payment. They specialize in UPI. Of course, there are other services. Similarly, I would like to understand what is the USP or core strength of True Balance, and what are the future goals? Where do you want to reach probably in next 5 to 10 years time with Balance Hero?
Yeah, thanks for asking that because one of the most important factors, then the reasons why I believe that our service is kind of different from others is based on the vision and mission and then target users we have. As I briefly shared, our vision and mission is very simple, three words: finance for all in India. So, actually, India is a big country, 1.4 billion people. It's the biggest country in the world. Out of 1.4 billion, there are like so many kinds of people.
Mm,
And then, as I briefly explained, more than like 1 billion people, we see that they don't fully enjoy their financial life. So,
mm,
what we wanted to solve is this financial inclusion issues, especially for this next billion. That's why actually we are very focused on those users, and then every product, financial product we have is tailored, especially tailored for those users. So basically, we are now providing payment and then the loan service. But when it comes to the loan, because payment is kind of a transaction service, actually the major business model service is loan. When it comes to loan, we are very focused on small ticket size, short-term tenure loan because our next billion people,
mm,
they need this. Most of our service, like our average ticket size is 10,000 to 15,000 rupees only.
mm.
I don't know if you have read the article, the research article from Google and CBIL that was released last year, June.
Okay.
Google and CBIL, Google is the biggest actually the internet service provider, and the CBIL, the biggest credit service in India. They
Mm,
jointly released the article last year. They have a lot of very good actually insights, implications. But one of the biggest thing I want to share today is that average under 10,000 rupees loan,
mhm.
digital loan, was
Mm.
only 3% out of the whole digital loans in 2017. But
Okay.
in 2021, less than 4 years, that 3% became 70%, 70%.
Wow.
So 3% became 70% less than 4 years. Now I believe that that number is more than 80%. But I think that's very natural evolution because in India, as I told you, more than 1 billion people, they are making like, tens of thousand rupees, like 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 40,000 rupees. Most of Indians, they're like a middle class level is making that money. And then
Mm,
they don't need big money, like,
mm,
10 lakh or 1 crore kind of money. They need
mm.
10,000, 20,000, 30,000 money. So
Correct.
those big population, those big market is coming into digital. That's why actually in the digital loan, less than 10,000 rupees market is huge. So
Mm,
I believe once we make a right product for those users, like they don't need a big loan, they don't need long loan. They
mm,
need like 10,000, 20,000 in for 3 months, 6 months, and maximum kind of 12 months.
mm.
So once we find out our users' need, and once we kind of make the right product for those users, then
Mm.
we believe that we can solve their financial inclusion issues, but also we can make a big business. That's
Correct.
how actually we kind of end up doing business like this. And then thankfully for based on last 3-4 years, actually the journey, of course, we had up and down for COVID and then Chinese, issues, many issues. But thanks for those, our valuable experience. Finally, we believe that we found out our product market fit for those next billion people. And then we are making actually money, profit. We make profit from last year.
Wow. Now we would like to get into your personal journey as an entrepreneur. So tell us why entrepreneurship. Why did you think of becoming an entrepreneur? I think you worked for different companies. You could have continued doing that, but why getting into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, actually, as I told you, like this company is my second venture. The first venture is Access Mobile in 2006.
Hmm.
I found this company in 2014. So it's almost like, 17 years of experience as a CEO and the founder of the business. So, yeah, actually, it's a very interesting question because, if somebody asked me, like, if you go back to 2006,
Hmm.
like you want to start a new journey again? My answer is definitely yes. Of course, for last, 14 years, the 17 years, the journey was really, really harsh. And then, I don't want to experience that again.
Hmm.
But, I believe this entrepreneurship journey and then the startup journey is not just to fulfill my personal kind of a demand, like I want to have my own business, I want to have independent actually area of my life. It's not just that, but also like once you have your own business, like as I explained that we have the vision and mission as finance for all,
Hmm.
like as you just asked, every startup, every kind of company try to solve the problem.
Hmm.
For our case is financial inclusion issue, whatever it is. If you are missioned, if you're fulfilled about those mission statement, then
Hmm.
I think it's going to make you as a person who is going to pursue another level of your life. So I believe, of course, still we have a lot of challenges. Even though actually we, for last the 9 years, we had a great journey, and then we finally make the BP like profit, but we still have a lot of challenges. But all these challenges and hardship, and then the problems and then pains, because I wanted to fulfill that journey, the mission and vision. I always have the mission to push forward, and then I cannot imagine the life without those the mission and vision. So to level up your life to the next level, whatever it is, like it can be any kind of issues. I
Hmm.
think it's a great journey. It's a very very actually fulfilling and then worthy journey for you to take it. Especially you are young. I'm not that young, but especially if you are young, it's okay to fail. Especially
Hmm.
India is a great country for the startups and then entrepreneurs. So this country is, I think, giving a lot of opportunity and chances for the younglings. So I believe it's really worth to try.
So all these years of entrepreneurship, I assume you went through a lot of difficulties, and you also learned a lot of lessons that you can, we can take away from your journey. So tell us about your top three learnings that you have got, which we can take away and probably apply to our ventures and our lives as well.
There were so many, so it's hard to pick one. But I think, yeah, actually, very, if you ask me to pick just one, is actually, I would like to choose the people.
Okay.
Actually, as I told you, like we got funded like over like almost $100 million, and then we made a kind of a quite actually good business for now, but we had up and down, and then we recruit so many people, and then we actually cannot but let many people go.
Hmm.
So all this journey is especially the startup journey is everything about people. What kind of people you meet, what kind of people you work together. So I think to find out the best people and then really good people to work with, actually that's everything. Starting from your co-founders. for my case, actually, I started this company with my college friends. We are in the same group, like, college group. So, and then after that, even after that, actually, I met like so many valued actually, partners in my company. Still, actually, I have many. So, like, how to meet the best people and how to recruit those best people is basically everything about your company. One person makes big difference, and then one person can make another kind of a difference. So
Hmm.
it's really, really important to meet the right person, right people, and then actually that's gonna make your journey more like fulfilling and then successful, and then like worthy to explore.
Got you. My final question: tell us what is the definition of entrepreneurship as per you, or how would you define who is an entrepreneur, or what is the process of entrepreneurship?
um Yeah, actually, I don't think, like as you know, like every leader, successful leaders from startup, they have their kinds, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
there's no definition, and then there's one good actually example, successful example of entrepreneurs. So every entrepreneur has their style and their character and then their leadership. So I think anyone can be a leader and then can be an entrepreneur. One most important thing is like, I believe that many already shared and then you guys already know is resilience, like, grit.
Hmm.
You might fail for short term, you might face a lot of issues, but actually you better not give up easily.
Hmm.
If I gave up, like I'm not gonna be here. Like I had a lot of actually pains and then difficulties, so I could give up, but
Hmm.
I couldn't give up. I didn't give up. That's where I am, and then that's basically everything because the business you want to make it, the problem you want to solve, the vision you want to achieve. You are the one who knows well
Hmm.
than anyone else. So sometimes maybe you are judged by others. Sometimes you fail to get funded. Sometimes you fail to provide the right product. But actually, as far as you believe in yourself, and then as far as you believe in your mission statement and problem statement, I strongly believe that you can get to it. So don't give up. The resilience and grit is the most important. Whatever the style, whatever the character, whatever the startup entrepreneurship you have, that's the single most important factors for entrepreneurs.
Well, on this note, we will close the session. Thanks for your time, Charlie, and it was wonderful to have you here and learning from you about your entrepreneurial journey. Our best wishes for true balance.
Thank you for your valuable time. Again, thanks for having me today.
Thanks, Charlie.